Hello everyone, Vibrant Inkling here, and we are back for the next installment to this wonderful series. Last time we finished off the rollers in the form of the flinker rollers. This time we're going to be starting off the ink brushes, or just the brushes in the form of the ink brushes. I used to make these a lot, but not so much anymore. Now, contrary to the game putting them in the roller category, these are clearly an entirely different weapon than rollers. Yeah, you can still sprint with them, but that's like the only similarity. They are their own completely different playstyle entirely. They're not the best weapon in the game by any means, but certainly not the worst. And oddly enough, for the last installment to Kelly's Fortune Telling Tuesdays, the Inkbrush was the weapon. So that's kind of funny. Covering them both in 1 week. Okay, for this particular Inkbrush, I really prefer anything that's really efficient on ink, because while the main weapon itself isn't exactly ink hungry, the Splat Bombs make it so. And with a weapon like this, you're going to want some ink left over. Because the only way to refill your ink is to either stop in the trail of ink you're leaving behind, or swing forward to hide in your ink. Which makes it rather tricky to do so. So for this, yeah. It's also not a bad idea to be stealthy with this weapon either. But here's what I recommend with this weapon. Just move around as fast as you can, and ink as much turf as you can. Do not try to engage in combat with this thing because it's outclassed by almost everything in the game. The only thing you really outrange at all is the sploosh. But even then, getting close to that weapon is risky because it's a much faster time to splat than this weapon is. Hello. That was crafty. See, this is what I'm talking about. Its range is so short, and the damage peters out over a much greater distance than you would expect. However, on the plus side, this weapon does take the trophy for having the cheapest special in the game at only needing 150 points to get it. And that is really good, considering how bad the weapon is at straightforward combat. Yes, while that Splashdown does get cancelled really easily, it can sometimes pay off as a defensive ace up your sleeve. Other times, more often than not, though. No! Oh. I like to think of the Ultra Brush user as the person that wants to be a rush main, but doesn't like the Inkbrush because of its super short range. I mean, yeah, the Ultra Brush is a lot more well-rounded than the Inkbrush, but the reason you would want to use an Inkbrush over an Ultra Brush is because it's a lot faster, a heck of a lot faster. Case in point. Hello! How's it going? The reason why I think this is my favorite kit of the brushes is because the Splat Bomb works as it gives the set more of an edge. It's a really good tool to force enemies into your range, to take your swings, but even still, pretty much everything outclasses the Inkbrush in straightforward combat, making it like one of the least effective weapons for combat in the game. But the one advantage it does have is speed, so think of it like, I guess, Sonic and Smash. The greatest attribute is the speed. You want to use that to your full advantage. But you also want to be cautious in your approach because just about anyone can send you flying. Because Sonic is a lightweight character and admittedly does not have the best recovery time. Same story for this weapon. Okay, let's see how that turned out. That looks pretty darn close. That is a victory! Needing only 150 points to build your special is really freaking nice. It's the cheapest special in the game, and if you want to, try to main an Inkbrush, this is an excellent kit to start off with. But now onto a kit that's probably my least favorite of the three. The Inkbrush Nouveau, however the heck you pronounce it. I mean, the Baller is a good complement to the Inkbrush, because even when you're out of ink, you can just use that to push ahead. But the Ink Mines, I guess it can be a way to soften up an opponent to splat them a little faster, but that's the only real use I can think of them on a kit like this. But, that being said, let's see how we go. Sorry, no. And I chose the selection of abilities I did for this one because this kit isn't exactly the most effective, so there's no real ability that doesn't really impact it in a real meaningful way. Of course, special power-up is always nice on something like a Baller because it increases the durability. But that's honestly about it. Other than that, can't really think of anything else. Sub power-up would be nice, I guess, because I believe it increases the range of the Ink Mines a little bit, or the effective radius of. Okay. When you're pinned down by a charger, that's always fun. Hello. I'll place this right here. While ink mines aren't the most expensive thing sub-up in the game, they're certainly not the most effective. Oh, I'm being followed. Leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. How you doing? Oh, hello, unsuspecting opponent. My ink mine will. I know. I was gonna say, just get a little closer to my ink mine so I can finish you off. Actually, what I probably should have done was place another one down. That way I probably would have finished them off. Now I think of the idea. Here, brushy, brushy. Here, brushy, brushy, brushy. Hello! I tried. Uh-oh. How'd you survive that? That's my question. And there goes the ink mine already. Ooh, that was quick. Wow, that was quick! Oh. Yikes! Okay. That's another thing you need to be careful with the Inkbrush about. If you need to go through something like that, then you won't really have the time to ink the surface to get away in time because there's a cooldown animation with the swing. And you're left very vulnerable during that downtime, so you gotta really be careful. Boink! Hello! Hi! Hope I'm not intruding. Okay, by the fact that you're firing at me, I imagine I am intruding. How many swings was that? Frickin' 6? Not the best weapon for combat by any means. Can I make it? Yep. I can make it. Hello, people. I'll just get rid of that little trail of ink right there. Okay, that was a pretty fun match. Not gonna lie, all things considered. For the most part. Okay. But now we're moving on to what's probably my second favorite kit. of the ink brushes. Like, for me, it's a tie between the vanilla and the permanent. And while the permanent kit is like the least combat oriented out of the three, it's a very interesting kit for an ink brush. What you want to do with it is get your special as quick as you can and use it as often as you can. So to that extent, I'll be building a gear set that's kind of catered to that. Getting the special as fast as possible while, of course, it's not the best weapon in the game, so I'll probably get splatted here and there. In that case, Special Saber could also help. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully it goes rather well. But who knows? Probably not. Lol, everyone. Ain't the most dirt to win. Okay. When the fact of the matter is, the only part that matters is the last 30 seconds of battle. Okay, here we go. I still find it funny, considering Kelly's fortune weapon on Tuesday was the normal Inkbrush, and that's the weapon we're covering this week. So I find that to be kind of funny. Inkbrushes in 1 week. Oh. Oh, there's 2 chargers, okay. Six. No one's gonna ink this area over here? Okay, dang, no one bothered inking the base at all. Oh. It's called Turf War, people, ink the base. That's what you're supposed to do. This just shows how bad Nintendo's weapon distribution is as well. Yeah, you never want to actually try and force into combat with this weapon because you will lose like 90% of the time. Because it is not a combat-oriented weapon at all. Super slow range, super low damage. It's like super low everything with the exception of speed. So think of it almost kind of like Sonic and Smash Brothers. Its strongest trait is the speed. Use that to your advantage. Don't try to actually close in. Unless there's an opening. I see someone's trail. Yes, while Ink Armor is kind of a nice help in combat, it does suffer from knockback, so if you get hit by something like a charger, thinking you're gonna outclass them, because, you know, you're super good at close range and they're super bad at close range, you're gonna get pushed back, and that's gonna cost you precious time. What I can do, however, is try to force the charger into an uncomfortable closer quarters. That way, my teammates can finish them off. But heck, no one plays like a team in this game anymore anyway. Don't squid party, doofus. This is a public match. You don't join public matches to squid party. Do that in private battles. I'm gonna test this last sprinkler over here. It's probably gonna go to waste really quickly. Okay, I'm going to die if I don't think of something. Yep. Boink! Hopefully my sprinkler did a little something to actually help. Which I seriously doubt. Whee! Last second swings ought to help? Maybe? Yes, no, maybe so? That looks pretty close. Wow, that's a victory. Well then. Pretty solid matches all around. Can't complain. That was fun. The Inkbrushes are really fun to use every now and then, and I used to main them, so I still, you know, consider myself relatively decent with them. But that's going to do it for the Inkbrushes. Next time we'll be covering the last of the rollers, quote-unquote, in the form of the Octobrushes, which I honestly prefer Inkbrush over Octobrush, just because, in my opinion, they're easier to handle and they're faster. I like the faster speed of them. But other than that, yeah. Okay, so that's gonna do it for today's video. So, until next time, love you all. Take care.